Hey everyone, so I know the last video I made was saying that we were sick. Well, we happen to be a lot more sick than I thought we were, and a lot of other crazy things have happened since then. So I kind of just want to update you guys because I know I haven't made a video in a little bit. So pretty much, hey Milo, the next day, once I made the video, that night I wasn't feeling well at all. I was freezing, but I was really, really hot. I was like overheating. And I was checking my temperature and it kept saying like 102, 103. And I was just not feeling good. And then my daughter was throwing up. She threw up like 8 times that night. But this was like between the hours of like 12, like midnight to like 4 a.m. So I couldn't go in, and so I just waited till the next day. And really, really early in the morning, I got the babies up like at 6, and I dropped my son off at my mother-in-law's, and then we just went to the emergency room, my daughter and I, and they said that my fever was 104. They said, and it was almost 105. It was like 104 point something. And they said if I was like too higher, it could have been like brain damage or something like that. They said that I'm like a strong mom for being able to drive there and carry my baby inside and all that, because they said that they could tell that I was really, really weak. I guess that's what happens when your fever gets that high. And it's true, because my whole body, I know I was talking about in the last video that my whole body was sore, and that's like the thing, you feel like really, really weak. And it kind of feels like you're close to death. I mean, I haven't died, but if there was anything I can compare it to, it'd be that. Like, it felt horrible. And as far as my daughter, her fever wasn't really like that bad. It was just at 99, and her thing was she was mostly throwing up. And we ended up having the same thing. They thought it was the flu at first. They did x-rays on us. They put this thing down our nose to like check for something, and then they put this thing down our throat, and they both were really, really uncomfortable, and it just wasn't fun. But you know, you got to do the testing just to make sure. So we did that. Everything came back negative except one thing, which was this virus. So we have a virus. I'm not sure the name of it. It's written down on the paper, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to pronounce it because it's like all the scientific name. But we have a pretty bad virus that's similar to the flu, so it's like the same symptoms. And my daughter was like further in the virus, and I was just like starting the virus, except she didn't get the whole fever thing. She really didn't get a high fever like I did. I kind of got it worse, and that's just because I have a really low immune system. It's just always been a thing with me. I have just a low immune system, so when I get sick, it's pretty bad. Usually every time I get sick, it's bronchitis, let alone with the regular cold symptoms and stuff like that. So it was really, really uncomfortable. We were there, we ended up making it to the hospital at like 8, and then we left probably really, really late. It was almost dark when we left, so it could have been like 7 p.m. So we were there pretty much all day, and I'm just thankful that I had my mother-in-law that watched Miguel, and there was no complaints or anything. He had fun. He's got 4 other uncles and aunts over there, and they're all in elementary school, so they are kind of at his level. They're all good. Even though he's 1, he's really smart for his age, and he had fun playing with them, so he had a great time. He wasn't sick or anything like that, which was so strange that he didn't get sick at all, because they always play together, but that's good. So then they gave us both Tylenol and ibuprofen, and then they gave me a inhaler for her that had like this mask thing to try to breathe it in, which we used. And right now I'm kind of just like, I don't know, I feel better. Like, I don't feel weak or anything like that. I only have headaches here and there, but like as far as the coughing goes, I'm still coughing. It's not how it was before. I was coughing all day long. Now I just cough throughout the day, but it's mostly just at night. I just really can't sleep because it's hitting me at night. It just like, I think the position laying down, all the mucus, it's like gathering up and it's making me cough, and then I'm not that good at like spitting it out. I usually like swallow it back down, which is really gross, but it's even more gross for me to try to spit it out or blow it out my nose. So that's kind of what's been going on. But as far as my daughter goes, she's fine. She stopped throwing up. Only thing with her is her nose is still runny and she does cough a little tiny bit. But now in the night she doesn't cough and she doesn't throw up. So it's just like pretty much the runny nose and a tiny bit of a cough. But my son's getting sick now, but I've been giving him the same medicine that they gave me for her because they're pretty much the same age. So I'm just giving him a little bit of a higher dose. That way it doesn't get as bad as it did for us. So he's doing okay, but you know, he's starting to get sick and he's doing the whole coughing and it's really hard for him to sleep and all that. But I'm doing the best I can, especially with me still being sick. I'm just like, I don't know, it's dragging itself out. And I've been a little bit stressed because we went on August 19th. This is the next thing that happened. We've been out of the hospital for probably like a week, I'd say. So we decided to go on a random spontaneous trip to Hollywood because my husband had a day off and he just wanted to treat us. We went to the Santee Alley in Hollywood. They sell a lot of like knockoff name brand things. So like if you guys know the Yeezy shoes by Kanye West, we got some of those for my son for only $9, and I know they're really, really expensive for the real ones, but I didn't mind buying the fake ones because he's a toddler, or he's still a baby, toddler baby. He's only one. They're going to get dirty and he's going to grow out of them quick. So they look just like the real ones. So we got those. We got him a train set, random things. I didn't buy any of the makeup down there because I hear that it has like random stuff that you don't want to put on your face. So I didn't get any of the makeup because I have like all the name brand makeup, but it's not real. It's from China, but it looks, they're like replicas. And it looks like it, but I didn't do that. So we did that, and then we went to the 3 museums. It's the like the wax museum over there where they got the famous people, and then we went to the Guinness records, and then the Believe It or Not. So we went to 3 different museums, and then after that we walked the streets where it was like the Walk of Fame or something, I think like that, where they have the stars on the ground. Super fun. And then it was getting late. Like this was an all-day thing. So it's in Hollywood. That's where we went. Los Angeles, Hollywood. And mind you, we live 3 hours away from Hollywood. So it's a pretty far drive, but you know, I have a new car. So I knew it could take the trip. We'd be fine. It's a safe car. It's a family car. And pretty much, I just got the car for my birthday. So I got it like 2 months ago. No, a month ago. I got it a month ago. Everything's good with it. So we were on our way. We left around, I'd say 10:30, because we wanted to, you know, make it start on the way home before like the club started happening in Hollywood, because it was a Saturday. So I know like people are going to be out clubbing and it can get dangerous, especially for babies. So we made it back to the car. We were on the road at 10:30, and then we jumped on the 101 South. We were merging onto the freeway. We were on the freeway now, and we were only there for like probably 3 minutes on the freeway, and then we happened to be in dead stop traffic in our lane, but the other lanes were like still going, but we need to stay in this lane because this is the way for us to go home. Excuse me. So we're there in dead stop traffic. All of a sudden, my husband is like getting tense. Like I can see him getting tense. I've got the GPS. I'm kind of looking down, but I can tell he's getting tense, and I like look up at him, and he looks in the mirror. I can see him looking in the mirror, and then he got like really upset, and I was like, what the heck? And then all of a sudden I feel like a big impact of like a car hitting us. Like he had saw it coming, but there was really nothing he could do because we were dead stop traffic, and he saw it like coming fast, and he said he swore like it was gonna hit us, and it did hit us. So a car hit us from behind. It hit on the driver's side, but from behind, and we were in dead stop traffic, but our car, like, it's like gonna stop right here. It like pushed forward and pushed forward again. It was so scary. It was crazy. But thankfully we didn't hit the car in front of us. Our car got smashed in from the back, and the steering wheel is sideways. You can't really drive it like straight. It just goes all the way to the side. I think it's maybe the axle or something. And then one of the tires got smushed in. The driver's back tire got smushed in. And thankfully, the babies were okay. We were all okay. I turned around immediately, took off my seatbelt, and my daughter slept through it, thankfully. But I just did like this under her nose because you can feel like the heat of her breathing. So I did that. She's still breathing. She's fine. But Miguel was like crying. He was so scared because it was on his side. You know, he was the closest one to it, and it just like, you know, it was bad. Thankfully, we have baby seats that are really good, and our car is a really safe car, and that's kind of why we picked the car, and thankfully everything's good. But so after that, I called 911 immediately. Now, mind you, after this had happened, we got hit. The car scooted to the next lane, hit another car, then scooted to the next lane, hit another car, and then drove off into the furthest lane. And then supposedly they hit more cars up there, but they never got caught. And they're still trying to investigate and figure out who it was. I'm pretty sure it was a drunk driver that was probably just scared, or maybe somebody that didn't have insurance or something like that. Because who hits that many cars and doesn't care to check to see if they're okay? Like, I had babies. I don't know about the other cars. My husband did go out once we all pulled over and to see if they were okay. He says that none of them had really families. It was like only 1 or 2 people, but he asked every car and they were fine. You know, obviously their car did get damaged. One of them, their whole mirror came off. The other one had like skid marks on the sides of the doors, and that person was just trying to go. So I believe in karma, so I think that person's gonna get some bad karma towards them, because I just can't believe they did that. I had 2 babies. You know, what if something happened to them? They wouldn't even know, you know, what they did. You know, it's like they could have, my babies, like, it's sad to say, but my babies could have died, and that person wouldn't even know that they murdered 2 babies because they didn't care to see. Or maybe, you know, something else. I mean, there's so many possibilities. It's just so sad. So I'm just so thankful they're okay. And today they did get a checkup. It's 2 days later now that happened. They got a checkup. That was as soon as I could get them in, because I just wanted to make sure they were fine. The doctor said they're fine. Funny thing about it is that my daughter weighs 20 pounds and my son weighs 24 pounds. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, is my son underweight or is my daughter overweight? And they said, no, it's totally fine. They said, expect this because your babies are so close in age that they're always going to be around the same. So I was like, okay, good. But it's just really funny that they're so close in weight. And so they're good. I'm good. My husband's good. So unfortunately, though, the car's getting fixed in Hollywood because my insurance, since it was a hit and run, obviously we can't use their insurance to cover it. So we're using my insurance. Thankfully, I have full coverage insurance. But they don't tow your car more than 50 miles. So, and I'm 3 hours away. So, you know, I had to leave the car there in Hollywood. And by this time, it was like 12 a.m. because of 911 coming, making sure that all the cars are okay, trying to do the police report, me making the claim so that I can get it towed and everything. It had been like 12. By the time the tow man came, it was 2 a.m. He took the car somewhere in Hollywood. Then we were left there. We stayed in a Walgreens. I asked somebody, the manager in Walgreens, if we could stay there because my friend, thankfully, she came all the way from where we live, 3 hours away, to come pick us up. And I'm really, really thankful. She came all the way. She picked us up. We stayed in Walgreens for like, I think, 2 hours. I think it was 1.5 hours to 2 hours because we got there at like 2 and then she picked us up at 4:05, I believe. So we were there for 2 hours and 5 minutes. And the people in there were so, so nice. I'm really thankful. I kept telling them thank you. And then I offered to buy them stuff and all that. And I just really appreciate everybody that helped in this situation, you know, because pretty much we're stranded in Hollywood after our car was towed. And she took us back. By the time we made it back, it was like 7:30, I think. Something like that. So, you know, she pretty much drove for 6 hours straight. And I'm really, really thankful for that. And I will be having to go back to Hollywood in 2 weeks when my car is fixed. That's the estimated time for it to be fixed because the axle's messed up, the steering wheel that's crunching from the back, the tires messed up. It's just, you know, needs a lot of work. So hopefully in 2 weeks it'll be good and I'll be able to go back. As far as car, we do have 2 cars, but I'm trying to do a renter's insurance, but not pay for it, I guess, because I have full coverage. So I'm just doing like the claim, and it's still being reviewed, and it's only taking so long because I didn't do anything wrong. It was somebody who crashed into us. So it's just got to be reviewed and overlooked, and they're kind of like, they're upset. The company's upset because the person, it was like a hit and run, so we can't, like, my company can't charge their company, because really their company should be paying for this because it was that person's fault. So it's just like really hard because my company really shouldn't be having to pay for this, but since I do have full coverage and I'm like a loyal customer and everything, my company's covering everything, so it's just taking a little bit. So I'm still waiting. Hopefully we get that rental. And then my husband's car, yesterday we found out that it needed new spark plugs and it needed some wire. I'm not so good on cars, but so pretty much he fixed the spark plugs yesterday, and right now he's fixing the wire. So hopefully that is it with his car and we're good, because right now is not a good time for anything to be happening with another car, because we only have 2 cars and we kind of need them, especially with the babies. So that's kind of what's going on. We are just really thankful like for everything. I'm just trying to get better from my sickness. I'm trying to keep, you know, my baby safe and everything and happy and all that. And it's just been a crazy last couple weeks, I guess. In the last 2 weeks, like, I've got super sick, and then the car and all that. So hopefully things are going to be looking up for us in the future. I mean, I don't think anything really bad happened, you know, besides getting sick in the car. Like, I'm going to be better. You know, I'm going to get over this virus. My daughter is almost over it. My son's catching it, but he'll make it. He's going to get over it. And, you know, a car's replaceable. Babies aren't replaceable. So I'm just so glad that they are fine. But I'm going to be trying to make more vlog videos for you guys. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I just wanted to update you guys because I know you guys have been with me for probably 2 years now, watching my family grow and all that. So I really appreciate it. So if you guys are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe bell down below and give this video a thumbs up. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.